Hi, I am Dr. Monali Vakharia from the Medical Affairs team of Sun Pharma and your host for today's webisode. Love Your Eyes is this year's theme for World Sight Day, and on this occasion, we are here together to discuss about some common facts, do's and don'ts, and some frequently asked queries, questions in your mind regarding this topic known as myopia. Myopia is one of the causes of preventable blindness. Post COVID and with increasing use of digital devices, it is very critical for us to know about some common information regarding myopia. And for this, we have a very renowned and expert panel with us, moderated by Dr. Jitendra Jethani. It is my pleasure to welcome Sir for this webisode. Welcome, Sir. Dr. Jitendra Jethani is a very renowned and fine pediatric ophthalmologist in the country. He is currently the director of Baroda Children Eye Care and Squint Hospital. For further discussions and for introduction of our other panelists, I would now request Dr. Jitendra Jethani to take over. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monali. And I think it is a wonderful initiative from Sun Pharma to create awareness on World Sight Day on myopia, which is now actually becoming a growing concern in children. As we know that myopia has gradually become a pandemic, as per the reports from Brand Holden Institute of Myopia. They have reported that by the end of 2050, 52% of children or population would be myopic. So I welcome all the panelists. We have eminent panelists from across the country. I would introduce our panelist, one of the senior most pediatric ophthalmologists, Dr. Sumita Agarkar, who I have worked with her also. She is a wonderful teacher and a pediatric ophthalmologist. She is deputy director at the world famous Shankar Nethralaya, Chennai. Then we have Dr. Suma Ganesh, who is presently deputy medical director and head of pediatric ophthalmology at Shroff Charity Eye Hospital, a very eminent pediatric ophthalmologist. We have with us Dr. Ramesh Kekunya, who is network director, capacity building external organizations at LV Prasad Eye Institute, which is another world-class institute. And he also heads pediatric ophthalmology department at Hyderabad LVPI. We have with us from eastern part of the country, Dr. Love Kochigave, who is a consultant in pediatric ophthalmology, strabismus, cataract, squint, LASIK, and ocular trauma. And he has extensive experience in handling all kind of difficult strabismus and surgical situations. Another senior person who was trained at Shankar Nethralaya. He has around 15 to 18 years of pediatric ophthalmology experience with him. We have Dr. Sumita Muthu, who's a consultant at Narayan Nethralaya, Bangalore. She is a pediatric ophthalmologist and has been working there for last 4 years. So welcome everybody on this great occasion of World Sight Day, and with such a deep experience and knowledge on pediatric ophthalmology. I think we would start our discussion on pediatric ophthalmology subject of myopia, its progression, and how we can help and the guideline where we can stop the progression of myopia in children. I would like to start with Dr. Sumita. I will be putting up the questions. So I'll put up my first question, which is what exactly is myopia, and how do kids develop myopia, and does myopia progress in children?
So in a very, very simple terms, myopia means short-sightedness, or when, if you look at the optics of it, when the rays of the light focus in front of the retina, and that's why you need a convex lens to correct it. And basically children will have difficulty with distant vision, and they may have difficulty with differentiating between letters on the board, and often their near vision is good compared to distance vision.
Just a follow-up question that, does myopia progress in children?
Yes, because children who are myopic have slightly longer eyeballs compared to their counterparts, and with growth and with age, the length of the eye tends to increase, and myopia does tend to worsen at slow to moderate rate. You can have very fast progression, or you can have slow progression or moderate progression, but almost every child who wears glasses for short sight does tend to increase as they grow older.
So my next question is to Dr. Mothu. What are the signs and symptoms of myopia? I mean, what and how would patients present? How would a typical myopic patient or a myopic child would present to our pediatric ophthalmologist or OPD of normal eye clinic?
Okay.
Dr. Sumita, yeah.
Yes, I'm here, Dr. Tilan. So, yes, the more common symptoms that children present with usually in the pre-COVID era, the teachers used to be the most common people who picked up myopia. When they see a child actually struggling to copy from the board, when they see that the child is, making mistakes. So that's how it was before. But now, because of the pandemic era, I think all of us have come across that a lot of myopic children, there's been a loss of diagnosis, them being diagnosed late because of that. So usually when a child goes close to TV or struggles to see something which is at a distance, that is when you know that yes, the child could be myopic. The other common symptom that you come across is children actually squeeze their eyes to make a slit so that they can see better. This is another common symptom. Very young children who are high myopes may sometimes stop taking part in outdoor activities or in activities which requires a good vision. This is another, common symptom that we come across in very young children.
So my next question is to Dr. Suma, madam. It is about so normally what happens is a lot of times parents come to our OPD and they do complain that with the COVID and with the lockdown, there is a lot of increase in the online screen and online and screen time. And a lot of time, they ask a direct question whether watching television or watching mobile or working more on online working or sitting long for laptops or on televisions, does that make a difference in increase in glass power, or does it increase the chances of the glass power or myopia progressing further?
Thank you, Dr. Jitendra, for the question. Yes, the question is like all the parents ask, does my child need to watch, if they watch TV or if they use a lot of mobiles, is that the reason why the myopia has increased? What we find that watching TV at a close distance can cause symptoms of myopia. And when looking at very nearby digital screens for a long time without taking any breaks, that can also induce myopia. So it is like what we advise is you do 20 by 20. That is 20 minutes you look at the screen and 20 seconds you take a break. That is the best way to avoid the symptoms of myopia or to avoid myopia being caused. So because what we find is that too long when you look at the screen, you can get blurry vision and you can get digital eye strain, dry eye and headaches. So these are also all the symptoms of myopia itself. So this can cause more and more deterioration of the myopia. It has been proven by many studies now. So there are a lot of studies which have been published that excessive near work is known to cause an increase in myopia and causes progression. They say that there are 2% increased odds of myopia from when you do a lot of digital work or when there's a digital eye strain. So it is proven now that near work increases myopia. So what do we advise the parents then? How long to look? How they say how much time? Then my child is gone 4 hours for screen online classes. So I say, okay, you tell them to do it 30 minutes, and then you take a break. Tell the child to look far distance or far away. And how far should they say you should keep these mobile when they are when they're watching. So I say, okay, you keep it at 30 centimeters or at the most 20 centimeters, no 30 centimeters. And the screen or your laptop, you can keep it say around 50 centimeters away from the child. And you keep monitoring whether the child is taking a break, or because this is something which really causes or induces myopia.
Fact that myopia would progress if the children keep on watching TV and mobile, that can lead to progression of myopia. So now that we have established that all these problems are going to increase, especially because of online usage of computers and laptops and mobiles, I wanted to ask Dr. Love whether there is any eye drops or any medicine for controlling the progression of myopia.
Thank you, Dr. Jaswani, and for inviting me to this discussion. And regarding eye drops, there has been a lot of interest in last few years, and now we have a good amount of data evidence available, which has been published, that low dose atropine, which the commonly used dosage is 0.01%, once daily use at night time, that helps in controlling the progression of myopia. And the guideline what we have is we have to use it continuously, maybe for about 2 years, and once at night dose, and see in every 3 months or 6 months, every 6 months visit whether the myopia is progressing or not. If it is responding well, and maybe at the at end of 2 years, if the progression is very less, maybe 0.25 diopters from the first visit, we can stop at the end of 2 years. If it is moderate, suppose if it is increasing up to 0.5 to 0.75, we can continue with the drops. And if it is more than that at the end of 2 years, we can just stop it and consider those children as a non-responder. But now we have, this is a good tool we have in hand, which we can use apart from outdoor activities for preventing the progression of myopia to a large extent. Thank you.
I would like your opinion on what activities would you suggest to children in whom we want to reduce the progression? Like what should be the day-to-day activities which they should do to prevent the progression of myopia?
I think there are few anti-myopia strategies we explain to the parents, which are very, very important. Number one on the list, I would say, is that to reduce, because COVID pandemic has led to a lot of screen time for everyone. Most of the children are onto screen time. One of the suggestion is obviously some of these are not, it's inevitable. Reduce the screen time as much as possible, depending upon the age. There are toddlers, there are the children who are just school going, and a little bit older children. Depending upon the age of the child, they have this screen time which is allotted. But within their class time, I think just every often they should have, they have something called water time. They have to have something like screen off time, maybe for a few seconds or few minutes in the class. These breaks are very, very important. That's number one. But beyond that, the school gives a lot of work on screen. I would try to encourage these parents, and also teachers should encourage the children to do this homework on routine basis on the book or something like that, which they can upload. That's much better than working on the screen. These are the two things in terms of school. But there are something else, like increase their outdoor activities, simple things, what we do, what we used to do. Earlier, during our childhood, our parents, they used to call us, come home, it's time to eat and things like that. Now we have to, push the children, go out and play. So I think this should become a very important aspect of a child, especially in a bright sunlight. They should have some physical activities. These are some of the simple things I would suggest. And even when they are working on a laptop or when they are doing their homework, there should be enough background light and well-lit place, and the posture should be really good. And the distance between the monitor and their workplace should be very good. And as much as possible, depending upon the socio-economic status of the parents, I think I would go for a larger screen rather than working on the mobile phone. These are some of the anti-myopia strategies which are freely available. We just have to implement this. Thank you, Jitendra.
Thank you, Ramesh. That was indeed wonderful. So what we have established is that what is myopia, and myopia progresses in children, and there's a huge number of patients or number of children who will end up being myope in coming years There are some drops as told by Dr. Love, and there are other options available as suggested by Sumita ma'am. And we had a wonderful input from Dr. Ramesh regarding the simple, effective, and environmental modifications that we can do.
One last, I want to say, Dr. Jitendra, before we end that, because I think parental history, if it is there, it's very important to get their child checked for myopia. I think that we should stress on it, because if one parent has a myopia, they should get their child checked for myopia. Or if they're both the parents are having, because we know that this increases the prevalence of myopia. I
Risk
think
of
that's something we
myopia,
should be, because since it's for a public forum, I think they should get their children's eye checked. And that is very important.
Better would be universal checkup by 3 years of age.
Yeah. So that was any closing remarks from Dr. Sumita, Dr. Love?
I think any treatment should not be self-medication. It should be always with the, after a consult. I think Dr. Ramesh said that point, but I would like to re-emphasize on it.
I think that was very wonderful, and that would be very enlightening for all the parents across the country and all the audiences of Speak Health.
Thank you, panelists and our moderator, for guiding us on some commonly asked questions and related topics for myopia. It was a very simplified and systematic guidance for us. For the viewers, with the world fastly moving towards increasing use of digital devices and with the changing lifestyle, it is critical for us to be aware about myopia. Hope these discussions would have helped you to understand myopia, its signs, symptoms, how to manage it, and what are the risk factors and what symptoms or warnings you should look for. For any further queries, you can further consult your ophthalmologist or eye doctor. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.